This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the September 3rd, 2025 Board of Public Works meeting. I'll make a motion to open the meeting.
I second the motion.
Thomas Felsberry?
Yes.
Leah Strode?
Yep.
Both in favor, motion carries.
All right, item number 1, public speak. We do not have anyone that wishes to address the board this evening. Item number 2, approval of the August 2025 meeting minutes. Were you able to review what was prepared?
I was, yes.
Any issues?
No, I approve as such.
All right, I will make a motion to approve.
I second the motion.
Thomas Felsberry?
Yes.
Leah Strode?
Yes.
Both approved, motion carries.
All right, item number 3, review of the pavement management draft report that we were issued.
So I shouldn't say finally, but I gotta say finally. So it took quite a while to get to where we finally have a draft of the report we had. They were environmental partners, now it's Apex companies. Prepare, kind of summarizes the state of our city's roadway infrastructure and what it's gonna take to really get it to a stronger standing. And just how much money that's going to require. So what I'd like to do eventually is make this document publicly available. Like it'll be something up on the website so people can see kind of where their street is, what it's ranked at, what the recommended treatment, pavement treatment would be. So as soon as we get it out of draft form and get a better idea of the how we want to tailor it to the city of Easthampton and what the board and would like it to look like. So.
Should be in the back of yours.
Oh, I apologize.
Paperclip.
So what it really does is just kind of took a snapshot in time of every street in the city and its condition and applied a cost and recommended treatment to improve the roadway's condition or whether it should be needs to be given a preservation technique or if it is really past the point of preservation. A lot of our roads are past the point of preservation. And what we're working towards is a good balance between spending what we have available for Chapter 90 funding on pavement preservation and reconstruction and like what that ratio should be to try to inch us closer to that 80% pavement condition index that we want to be at. Where the second we came in at 56 is in here.
Yeah.
So
56.8.
yeah, we can round up.
57.
So, I mean, we know we have a lot of roadway work to do out there.
Which is why we partnered with this, just to get the actual data.
Yep, and it all comes down to money. And I mean, we're, the state's taking some big steps in getting some more Chapter 90 funding out to cities and towns. But, when you look at the dollars that are summarized in this plan, it's really, it's a drop in the bucket, really.
Yeah.
So. We'll be kind of working through this a little bit more with Apex and really kind of drilling down on that ratio between pavement preservation and pavement rehabilitation,
Right.
to get where we can. I mean, and it will be a living document. I mean, like tomorrow we have, I'll get into it more in my report, but Mayor Street, there's some paving happening over there tomorrow, milling paving Friday. So like it'll be ever changing. So
Yeah,
we'll be
but it's a
working
good
with them.
baseline and it looks like a good summary in the appendices sort of the ranking, and that's if that's a living spreadsheet that we can have and track
Absolutely,
ourselves when we prepare stuff and mark it as.
And work from.
Yeah,
And have numbers really to apply to every road so we can really, stretch every dollar as far as we can. So.
Yeah. No, it's comprehensive, it seems. So were they able, I saw they covered, I think, 84 or 85 miles. Is that pretty much all the paved road network?
Yes.
I know we anecdotally say we have about 90 miles of road.
Yeah, pretty much everything we own. Start looking at the state highway layout and things like that.
True.
It's a little bit less. So.
Okay. But yeah, it was pretty complete coverage.
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
And we're still kind of like fact checking it, you know, the appendices and such, as like, you know, if this street's a 94 or 84, like, you know, Maple Street came in at 9, so that was, I know Maple Street's bad and we gotta get out there,
Yeah, I
but
saw
at
Oak was
least,
10, and,
yeah.
you know, that whole little section there, which is, I know, an issue, but that has underlying issues as well.
Yeah, well, that's just it. That's the other thing to keep in mind with this report, is this is just the roads.
Yeah.
When we look, you know, we need to consider sidewalks, we need to consider water, sanitary sewer drainage infrastructure, everything that needs to be updated, so.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever gonna make everything perfect, but, you know, we'll make sure we stretch every dollar that we can get to, you know, keep moving forward, so.
Now, does having this document open us up to any additional funding or grants, or do the metrics help in
No, I think, I mean,
applications,
it will help with preparing a grant application, so we can apply a cost and then reference this to like, here's what we have, when we are able to apply for the next round of funding, but having that plan in and of itself does not necessarily qualify us for anything that we
I didn't know if
aren't
there's
already
any
qualified
programs that
for.
this was a first step that they like to see, or.
Not really, but they do, I know Mass DOT does like to see a good pavement management plan on file for the city, just so that they know that we're being as strong of stewards as we can of the Chapter 90 funding that we get.
And I know it's never set, but what's, just for public, you know, just for the ratio, what typically do we get in Chapter 90? Like, I know it's variable.
It's been changing, like 465,000 in Chapter 90 alone, give or take. And then we've seen the fair share amendment funding, and you know, we kind of couple all of that together. There's some other, I can't think of the name of them off the top of my head, but there's some other funding sources that have been getting put into our Chapter 90 allotment, complete streets, shared streets, when we can go after that grant funding. So we do have I think it's a complete streets grant to do some work, Glendale, Knight, right, the sidewalk, I know we talked about it before. We're working on some survey work to get that design out and get that work moving forward as soon as we can, so.
But would you say, like, in a good year with everything funneled together, we do plus or minus $1 million of paving, or?
We can maybe fund it if we can get the work shovel ready.
Right, but
You
I'm
know.
saying between Chapter 90, like, how much do you think we
I think we'd be
invest
closer to
in our road work in a year? Not to put you on the spot.
$650,000 to $700,000.
Okay.
If we can get the work designed, bid out, and constructed.
Yeah, so compared to these numbers,
That's not a lot of money.
no.
No, the challenge is getting it all designed, bid, and constructed, like, well, it'll carry through fiscal year, through years,
Yeah,
really,
I
it's
understand.
really hard to.
I was just curious, like, dollars to paving, how much we actually put on the roads in a year between
Yeah, I'd say
preventative maintenance and overlay and.
$650,000 to $750,000 is probably a safe number to use in that.
So, do these costs include the design work, or is this just?
Well, it kind of, so not every road will require a design, like if we're doing Mayor Street tomorrow, for example, we'll just do a mill and pave. So there's not a lot of design work that goes into that. We'll do a lot of that work ourselves, where we go out and evaluate what's there, get out there, change whatever catch basins, frame and covers, sanitary sewer laterals, water lines, things of that nature that we need to do before they pave. But when you're talking about a full reconstruction where you want to get the sidewalks and everything ADA compliant,
That's why
design.
These jump up considerably in the minor and major rehabilitation.
Yeah. So it kind of depends on the scale of the work. If we're just gonna go out and put a cape seal or a fog seal or do some crack sealing, yeah, there's no design involved in that. We're just coating the existing pavement.
Material and time.
Yep. But we did have them use the Franklin Regional Council of Governments contract numbers in preparing this, so they
they're
are,
really-
they're numbers I have a decent amount of confidence in, rather than, like, you can use Mass DOT numbers too, but those are generally a little bit higher, and I wanted to kind of get to where we're as being as realistic as possible for the way that we do our work.
Yeah, so even on. Yes, I mean, they're fairly confident in these numbers, so even just to keep it at status quo, they want a $6.5 million annual investment.
Well, that's about, no, that's
No,
10 times.
That's, yeah.
10X.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
so that's why we chase every grant opportunity we can and get out there and get as much done.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to put these in perspective of, we're not even doing the million, which is their lowest tier line.
And hope that Mass DOT continues to help with things like they
With
did
large,
with,
like Main Street.
yeah, well, like they did with 141.
Yeah, that
Um,
was a
The
major,
municipal paving program took care of that, and we're after, one of the things I'll talk about is my director's report is the rest of the funding for Main Street to get that to 100% design, so we're on schedule to do a $9 million rehabilitation project in 2028.
yeah,
So, to keep those dollars coming like we did for
Yeah,
Union
that's what-
Street,
yeah.
you know,
then all our county roads will be set.
all the state numbered routes in great shape.
Yeah, no, it's the same general order of magnitude as when we got the IWRMP.
Exactly,
You know, for
it's just a new living document to help guide
you know,
where
it's
we
not
go.
anything you can tackle in a year or
No.
5 or 10. So it's a very good guidance document, I think that'll,
And for the public
help
too, it really
discussion.
puts it in a format that you can understand it if
Yeah.
you're willing to take the time to read through the whole thing and why things are the way they are and why we do what we do.
yeah.
Are there other things that might be considered in prioritization other than PCI and the cost benefit?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, if
like
there's a
the
project.
underlaying-
Well, yeah, whether the existing underground infrastructure, whether there's a project going on that we can, that helps us prepare a stronger grant application.
Yeah, we're not gonna, we can't just work from the bottom of the list up,
No.
because like Maple and Oak both have sewer infrastructure issues that need to get dealt with before you can.
And things change. Like a good example, just for the sake of conversation, Northampton Street, the Tasty Top project helped us prepare a very strong MassWorks grant application. So now we can't do the road there, but that would have, if we had gotten it, we would have been able to fund the water and sewer infrastructure replacement there. So it's like as projects come around that help, Grant, we might pivot to that location to say like, hey, let's try to do this, you know, and that's just one of the tools you use in getting grant funding to come to Easthampton,
Totally.
you know.
Yeah,
You have to be
and I know
willing
you sort of touched on it with what's the split of preventative maintenance versus total reconstruction. But, over the last 4 or 5 years, we have done a lot of new paving.
Yes, we've
And
done,
we really need, like there's that one little sawtooth curve that they show of investing in preventative maintenance to keep roads at, so you never have to get, where was it? It was like $1 spent in preventative maintenance, save 6 to 10 in total reconstruction after 15 years, so. I think we need to also, like you said, what's the split, but also sort of systematically institute preventative maintenance as a long-term cost savings.
yeah,
It will be at the expense of how quickly we can tackle the major reconstructions, but you don't wanna spend 10 or 15 years totally rebuilding the network and then lose the ones that were done in the beginning of the effort. So, it's all a balance, but.
so they have our chapter 90 apportionment for FY26 listed here is $958,000, but that's multiple, like I was getting at, it's not just the chapter 90, there's other.
But it's all
It's all considered part of that.
external
Yes.
funding sources
Yep.
that can be dedicated towards paving.
But for right now, we are working on a project that will be out to bid very soon for construction in the spring to redo the bridge deck on Fort Hill Road, pave Fort Hill Road from East Street to at least to River Street, and hopefully from River Street to Clap, the whole thing. So
It needs it.
it's very bad, yeah. And that road, the bridge deck needs to be done, that's been noted in the bridge inspection reports, and it's a good example of, we don't have a bunch of underground utility work to do there, so we can just go and pave that.
Right.
So the utilities are fairly new that are there.
I'm curious about the utilities. Do you have a sense of where there's a need for rehabilitation of underground utilities, and then also, like, do you have an overlay of both of them, other than in your head, I'm sure?
Well, we have the IWRMP
Yes.
that notes a lot of
Yes.
different,
The most aged, yeah.
yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
ages of the different infrastructure. But that's not necessarily, it's pretty fluid, and yeah, a lot of it's in my head, but like Maple Street, for example, I know the sanitary sewer is bad there from when the gas company was there doing work. There's other streets that are just as old, but not in as bad condition, not in as poor condition, because they're just, the soils are groundwater level in that area or whatever force of nature that's there that's making the sewer line fail faster. Like we knew Cherry Street, the sanitary sewer was in horrible condition, and we were able to get that done with grant funding.
Right.
Between CDBG and the MVP program, so it's kind of, it's like no two streets are the same, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
You can't just say because it's 80+ years old, it has to, you know.
Yeah, I mean, should it be replaced if we're
Obviously.
doing the road? Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Can we leverage our funding a little bit better in another area? Maybe.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah, but if there's two of similar age, one may be in considerably poorer condition.
Yes,
Just
Yeah.
based on
the soil conditions or
acidity and groundwater and
Yeah.
all the good stuff. Interacting with 100-year-old clay pipe,
exactly. Yeah.
returning to the earth.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I haven't seen anything from this company before, and it was a well formatted and, you know, like I said, easy to comprehend.
Yeah, and the options we've discussed with them about where we can go from here are really interesting with the mapping and things that they can put together for us. So.
Are they, I'm sure this would be interesting to you, are they providing all this data in GIS as well? Like for
That's
layer
one of
for
the
planning?
options for where we want to take it from here is
Yeah,
what we can get into, how we can build it into our GIS. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see that overlaid on some of the public GIS stuff that we have on the server.
And this is just the pavement, it's not the sidewalks.
No, but
it's
they
not-
explicitly
Yeah.
said.
Yep.
But anywhere we're going to fully reconstruct the road, we want to do less of the road and get all the sidewalk in there.
Right.
That's my take
Yeah.
on it, really. It's really what they want you to be doing now too. If it's a Chapter 90 project, you got to get the sidewalks ADA compliant.
What about areas of the city where there are not sidewalks presently? Is that something that they, are liking to, is the state's liking to see, or?
Well, it's challenging because you have to get survey and then look at the right of way and whether we're taking land to do it and then what kind of funding we can devote to that.
Understood.
So adding, from my perspective, adding sidewalk when we're having so much trouble maintaining the sidewalk that we have is a hard thing to do. Not that I don't want to do it. It all comes back to money.
Absolutely. I'm curious if there's like a requirement or something.
No
Okay.
requirement that I'm aware of.
Okay.
There could be something somewhere, but I know that getting what you have up to ADA standards is
It's the priority.
Yeah.
Totally. And this will be living, this will continually be
Yep.
updated.
Well, they said they recommend whatever 3 to 5 years that these numbers can be relied on with a 3% degradation factor or something. I forget what it specifically was, but after 5 years, I guess they want to resell you the survey package again.
Yeah, come back and take another look, sure.
Yeah.
But I think for this community, like with what we have here,
Yeah.
and then just our institutional knowledge of being here and what we're working, knowing what we're working on,
Yeah,
it just gets everything into one spot, and
there's
then
a couple decades of work to do anyway.
yeah, we'll be busy.
But no, it's a good,
But it's the first time I think a comprehensive view of all of Easthampton streets has been taken and then put into one document to really
yeah,
have them something to work from. So I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, great work. I mean, it's comprehensive.
eye-opening, but also
Yeah.
nothing we didn't know or
Yeah, I
suspect.
would agree with that.
So, I mean, this is marked as draft. What is the process from here out? You guys just wanna, before it's like, what's the finalized?
So we'll clean it up a little bit more with Apex and then go through the appendices and get a better review on them. I only got it last week and it's like 90 pages. So, and then work with them on, where they would recommend we take it from here. And then I'd hope to have them at a meeting to show you guys a final plan, maybe the second meeting in October, or first meeting in November. Just the way things, the time just goes by so fast.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Nope, that'll be a good guidance document. Okay, figure something out.
Well,
I mean, we're doing more than we have done in a long time, so.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
last 4 or 5 years have really seen a lot of pavement go down, I think, in comparison to the decade before that.
yeah, it takes a lot of, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to get to the point that the work's happening. Like this year's fairly light in the city for construction. Next year, it won't be. You know, there'll be a lot of stuff happening next year.
Even last year wasn't, so.
Yeah, last
Now
year
it's
was
like-
pretty disruptive,
yeah.
yes, so,
But we clustered them, we knew
Yeah.
that, just to have one large disturbance,
yes,
and it was, but we got through it.
yeah.
Well, I mean, unrelated but related. You were doing an inspection, was Mass DOT doing an inspection of Union Street? I saw them out like marking the sidewalk with,
So
Almost.
Ludlow's coming back.
almost like they're punch listing it. So,
We are, yeah,
okay.
we're working through the punch list with them, and they are planning to be back as of now the 8th. I guess Ludlow has a big project out in Memorial Drive by the Biggie, and they gotta clear out of there for the Biggie to happen, so they're gonna come here
Or
and
some downtime.
knock out everything.
Okay, yeah, we can save that for the director's
Yeah.
report. Just thought of it while.
Hopefully they get everything done.
Alright,
Alright.
any further discussion, any input from the public? Alright, then I'll look forward to seeing more of that, and we'll move on to item number 4, the director's report.
Okay, so first thing I wanted to touch on was the aerator project. As you know, it's ongoing. We've got the 2 new aerators on the west side. We did have the vibration analysis performed on those 2 after we noticed that significant lateral movement when they were testing them. There was no significant issues noted during that testing. We are waiting for Kleinfelder's official review of the actual testing report, and it came in yesterday, so waiting for them to get through it and give us their initial, their opinion on it. And I did want to talk about just that aerator replacement project has caused some significant odors and disruption to the biological process at the wastewater treatment plant, and thus some significant odor issues really across the city from the wastewater plant, kind of being out of its normal operating ranges. So we are working on that as best as we can. It will take some time for the process to come back, and then I expect disruption again once we have once we do the east side aerators. So we're only halfway there. We are working with Kleinfelder on a solution to mitigate that. Like, is there something we can do to our process to help with that? Or I understand it's very bad. It's bad in certain places, and the wind changes and it goes away and it comes back. But we're working on it, and we're going to try to have a mitigation plan in place for when we do the other side. And now that we know what we know about, I don't foresee the issues as far as testing, as we have. It's kind of a lot to get into in the meeting, but we have the other side. We're able to control the level of the water in that aeration basin better than we can on the east side, and we're going to work on fixing the east side level control in this project. The west side the west side level control will be working on in this project. The east side is more functional. So what we're seeing is just our plant is very old, and what can happen without the investment in it. Like, what we want to ensure we have this robust, strong wastewater treatment infrastructure, and that's what we're doing, getting the new aerators in there. So it's just almost everything we do involves some level of daily life disruption. So unfortunately, that's the nature of public works, but we will get these in, get them up and running, and get the plant's processes back to normal as soon as we can. So that's basically where we're at with the aerator project. It's kind of just working through, we have to do some work on the level control. We are on the west side, so the project will take a little longer than we had anticipated, but it'll be a more complete project. So Mayor Street, we have Palmer paving scheduled to mill Mayor, Grove Bay, and Warren in the Mayor, Grove Bay, and Warren Street neighborhood tomorrow, with paving currently scheduled for Friday. So they should be in and out of there fairly quick. There's been quite a bit of work that our crews were doing ahead of their operations. So get them in and out in 2 days will be nice. I'm looking forward to driving through there Friday afternoon with the road done. So, and City Council, we have 2 items on the City Council in the City Council public hearing tonight. Final approval of the conversion of West Glendale, Loudville, Pomeroy Meadow intersection to all-way stop control, and a funding appropriation of $699,985 to carry the Main Street reconstruction project through 100% design. So that's the city's contribution to unlocking $9 million in transportation improvement program funding for Main Street.
Great.
So there will be other further city contribution, but about $1 million. I think it'll be $1 million to $1.5 million later, once we get closer to construction for the they call to fund the non-participating costs, which is the water and sewer upgrades. So we'll be working on that, on getting funding together for that. So. And as I mentioned earlier, Ludlow is currently scheduled to be here on Monday to start working on punch list items for the Union Street project. A lot of the work is stuff you can't see. There's a couple issues here and there with debris in the channels in the sanitary sewer mains, or debris in a water gate box, things of that nature. But they'll be getting the benches bolted down, reinstalling the bike racks, fixing the stoplight that's pointing at the pond, a bunch of small stuff. But, so, if you go stand out at the top of the stairs and look back, you're looking at a red light at a stoplight. It's like, why? I noticed it during cultural chaos. I'm like, why is that like that? Tonight, so.
I have one question about the paving. What is typically the no process for people?
It depends. When it's a small neighborhood like that, we just have some yard signs we'll put out to let people know that, like, don't park in the street, we'll be here tomorrow. It's very difficult to do like a targeted notification other than
I'm
like
sure.
flyers.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And the other challenge is that we're we work a lot, well, with our paving contractors, right? We have to operate in the windows that they give us because they're pretty busy. And if they can free up a crew for a day and we can get them here, we take them while we can get them.
Sure.
Because otherwise we get 3 or 4 days of rain, their schedule changes drastically, and then our project could maybe not happen until the spring.
Right.
So we do try to be very accommodating to the contractor in order to get the work done, which I can understand could cause some frustration for a resident that didn't know their street was going to be paved, that day or the next day. But I think there's some value in getting in and out and getting it done. And like I was saying, almost everything we do disrupts someone's day to day.
Absolutely.
But if we weren't disrupting people's day to day lives, we wouldn't be doing our jobs.
Yeah.
That's right. So.
Did you have one other thing that you wanted to add to
Oh,
the
yeah,
director's
I do.
report?
Yeah, sorry.
No, I just knew it was outside.
So,
of your
yep,
punch list.
yes. So I have a memo here that worked with planning on putting together for the board. I just wanted to explain some of the upcoming changes for the CDBG project in New City. So this will be in with our meeting minutes tonight. So as you know, the New City neighborhood is a dense residential area, narrow streets and limited room for alternate layout. We've been working with planning department and Kleinfelder on design to reconstruct 5 of the streets in New City as part of a CDB project that will likely take place in 3 or 4 years. So those streets are Oakdale Place, Dartmouth Street, Exeter Street, Federal, and Glen Cove Place. During the early design stage of this project, the neighborhood residents emphasized the need for improvements to sidewalks and accessibility. It was kind of like the big thing people out there wanted to see. Kleinfelder explored several options to accomplish this, and the project is now in the final phase of design. And I just wanted to give the board an update tonight on proposed changes to current parking configurations on those streets. So in order to meet the increased accessibility design standards and avoid the cost of moving utility poles, Kleinfelder's proposed plan includes shifting parking on affected streets to the south side. It's all currently on the north side now, legally, but so parking spaces will be located between bump outs where the sidewalk will curve around utility poles. While the overall number of parking spaces in the neighborhood is reduced by approximately 3, it could be a little bit more. That's based on a 20-foot parking space. So several of the vehicles that are parked out there are smaller. We've been taking some counts early in the morning to see, look at parking utilization. So the number, it's about 3 spaces that will be lost across those 5 streets. But the design accomplishes several things. It maintains 2-way traffic on all the streets, widens the sidewalk to meet ADA and public right-of-way access guidelines, design standards, maintains driveway access and off-site parking for existing curb cuts. We add 10 street trees total on Federal, Exeter, and Glen Cove Place. And we make some pretty strong improvements to drainage infrastructure and replace all the fire hydrants all the water infrastructure really, and move fire hydrants off of private property in some instances and into the right of way where they belong. So this proposed change in the parking, it will require an amendment to Article 5, Section 124 of the Traffic Rules and Orders, Appendix A of the City Ordinances, as updated May 7th, 2025, to change the side of the street of which parking is prohibited for 4 streets and update incorrect language and location references for a 5th street. So this new parking configuration will not go into effect till construction is complete. I would say 3 to 5 years. So there will be a presentation at the City Council meeting on September 17th by Kleinfelder and KMDG, the other consulting engineer working on the design for the park, Lincoln Street Park. And I just wanted to bring these changes to the board's attention prior to that City Council meeting.
Thank you very much.
So, that's all I got.
That was a good,
Thanks for the
Actually,
reminder on the memo.
meeting this
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah, a little bit.
any further discussion on any topics we hit this evening? All right, now we'll make a,
The only thing I wanted, do you wanna meet on the 17th?
this month.
Yeah, I'm not here.
No, I don't think unless there was anything pressing, we'd sort of decided.
Okay, so we'll plan to meet, I think it's October 3rd?
Yeah, the first.
Okay,
October 1st.
October 1st, okay.
Yeah, it's September 3rd now.
Yeah, okay.
All right, then I'll thank you all for your time and see you in October, and I'll make a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting.
I second the motion.
Thomas Fallsbury,
Yes.
Leah Strode.
Yep.
All in favor, motion carries.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.